offensive pop with D'Lo. How did you feel like that played out tonight?
I thought both those guys starred in the roles that they had tonight. Cam took one shot in 27 minutes, but had a huge impact on the game defensively. Paul George never got going at any point in the game. I think in the first half, I know we had 3 smash screen assists coming out of set plays. I think Cam had 2 of them. Like, that's sacrifice. That's really just unselfishness. And then for D'Lo, I thought he starred in that role as well. Big time pop for us off the bench. A really efficient night for him, and he just played really good basketball. But I thought across the board for our group, it was a group win. We had a very professional approach to the game. We had a very professional approach to the game plan, to some attention to detail stuff. Our transition defense wasn't perfect, but we had numerous possessions where the things that we wanted to see and we emphasized in our meeting this afternoon were either visible or you could, hear it. There was an auditory component to it in terms of the talk and the communication. And obviously LeBron, AD, and AR were phenomenal, but in terms of the challenge and the of playing hard and the effort and execution, it was the entire group. I thought Jackson Hayes had a great game. The stats won't jump out at you, but he was awesome tonight. Gabe Vincent was solid again. So it was, for us, it was a group win, and I was really just happy for the group to connect again, if that makes sense. Where you can sometimes go out on the road and things don't go your way, and it's not that we've splintered. We haven't done that at all. The group has been awesome, but sometimes you need to win. Sometimes you need to play well to feel that connection, and I thought the group had that tonight.
Quick follow-up on D'Lo, but just the way that he handled it, how aggressive he was, and you kind of predicted that in a way, just based on how you guys have been communicating. But was that encouraging for you from a attitude standpoint as you now move?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that he approached the game the way that he did, and that he had the performance he had. Again, we've asked him to do things. He's been accepting of the role. He has talked with me all the time. He has a really strong desire to win, and he has a really strong desire to be coached. And our communication level from June 20th to today has been nothing but open, honest, and transparent, and I would assume it will continue to be. But he was, even just coming to our meeting today, just a professional, great attitude, all of the things that you want. And you see it all the time in the league where guys can take that the wrong way, like it's some sort of punishment, like play the victim. And D'Lo didn't do any of that. And that's part of the reason that he had the game that he had.
JJ, now that you made the starting lineup change, now it seems like Cam's going to be the guy defending the.
It's all fluid.
All fluid. Cam was the guy defending Paul George. He was the main perimeter defender. Austin had his best shooting performance in a while. Is there a benefit to Austin in that sense? And if you have Cam out there, he can be a little bit more free offensively.
You can only hypothesize about correlation when it comes to someone having to take a very tough defensive matchup and then also having to have a significant offensive burden in terms of shot creation, and the effect and correlation between those two things, whether or not off shooting nights are part of having to also then chase around tier one offensive players, because he's also had some really good nights where he's had to do both. But I think for balance, again, that was the word I used with you and before the game. I think for the balance of the group and for the balance of roles, This felt like the right thing to do right now. But it is, I just want to be clear, this is all very fluid.
JJ, one quick one and one longer one. The quick one, when did you decide to make the starting lineup change? Was this something like right in the aftermath of the Memphis game, or was this something this morning?
No. There was, listen, I was a player, and D'Lo and I talked about this. Like, I'm not somebody who's just going to, like, overreact and have 19, hopefully not, hopefully we're healthy. You don't have 19 different starting lineups in 25 games. Like, it required a lot of thought. And to be honest with you, it also required removing emotion from it, because there is a balance as a coach in trying to do what you believe is best for the group, but also being empathetic and sensitive to each player and trying to maximize those players and empower those players and not mess up or sort of put something in their head about what they are or what they aren't. And there's a really hard balance that I kind of had to work through. I came in this morning with the staff and we talked about it. It was part of our discussion for our coaches meeting this morning. We all felt like it was the right thing to do for right now. And again, both those guys were great tonight.
And then second one would just be Cam was out of the rotation a few games ago. Now he's a few games later. He's starting. What type of impact has he made, especially defensively, just in these last few games to kind of earn that spot?
Yeah. So Cam had some ankle stuff happening in September. He was what we call like a modified player during parts of training camp, which means no live action. So he kind of missed out on a lot of the stuff we were doing. When we went to Phoenix in the preseason, he got an extended run in that game. I told him I thought he was really good defensively and his effort was really strong. And, that, again, first time coaching him, you gotta build some trust in. And his last two games on that road trip, the defensive effort was there, and again, the trust got built more. And after tonight, there's more trust. That's kind of how this works, and so I just felt comfortable with him in that role for tonight.
Recognizing the fluid nature of where these lineups could go, the fact that you had already staggered D'Lo with AD and LeBron with AR in different units, did any of that kind of help this transition, you think, tonight for D'Lo's role?
Yes. The other component to it, Dave, is the game of basketball requires sacrifice inherently. It's not like baseball where when it's your turn to bat, it's your turn to bat, and then you kind of just wait around for 8 other tries, and then it's your turn to bat. The quarterback's going to have the ball in his hand. Pitcher's going to have the ball in his hand. Golf and tennis, you've got the racket, you've got the club. There's one ball and there's 5 guys on the court. And our starting group that we've used up until this point, 4 of those guys need and want the basketball. And that's kind of what I mean with the balance. So, yes, we had done the sort of first substitution and that change and kind of mirrored AD and D'Lo together and AR and LeBron together. So that was helpful. But I probably would say the balance is more in line with why that decision was made.
And as a quick follow, obviously, we talked about the way you have your substitutes with 2 major stars, having one of them on the court at all time. It's not your traditional bench scoring numbers that you look at. But considering D'Angelo's offensive skill set, could that give a different dimension to
Yeah, I mean, we talked. You asked me I think it was you that asked me the question on the road trip about that, and I'm not necessarily obsessing over how many points per game our bench scores, but it is nice. It is nice to have some pop off the bench. We also think Dalton will eventually become one of those guys that can come in and on any given night get you 15 to 20 in a short amount of time, because I believe he is an efficient scorer. So now we kind of, at least at this stage after tonight, we've got two of those guys.
JJ, the last time we talked to AD, he was really uncertain about the heel and the severity of it, and wasn't quite sure what his runway was going to be moving forwards. What kind of information did you get on the foot, and how do you think he looked after 48 hours off of it?
I thought he looked like AD. Was diagnosed finally, correct, Mitch, as plantar fasciitis? Yes. Okay, so it was diagnosed as plantar fasciitis. I also, but to be clear, I was kind of aware that he had dealt with plantar fasciitis at different points in time during the summer and preseason. I didn't recognize, I guess, the correlation between what I thought was more like an ankle thing in Detroit versus, just kind of like a nagging thing. And, we felt like I've had plantar fasciitis. I'm sure a lot of people in this room have. That just getting the extra rest would be helpful, and it looked like it was.
Hey, JJ. AD has obviously opened up this season playing MVP caliber basketball. What talks did you have with him heading into the season about how you wanted him to approach things?
To win the MVP.
Really?
JJ was talking to us about, he thought the good communication you guys had going into this lineup change and the approach, the professional approach you took leading to success on the court. How was it for you processing the switch, the swap, whatever you want to call it, and then how do you think the game went for you?
I just wanted to win. So whatever it took, change of plans, whatever it is, whatever coach need, just try to get the win and be a part of that.
This isn't the first time this has happened. It happened last season. What did that experience last year tell you about accepting it this year? Did any of that hit, or is it totally new season, totally new job?
Yeah, I just wanted to win. I think that's what it came down to this year. Last year we didn't win, so just trying to be a part of the winning culture.
Kind of to Dave's question, does the relationship that you and
Same question?
Similar, but building off of it, does the relationship that you've built with the JJ, does that make that message, I guess, easier to land, or does it change the dynamic of those conversations more? Yeah, does it just change the dynamic of those conversations, how it's taken in?
Just want to win. I think however it happened, however the conversation, relationship, whatever it may be, try to be professional and be a part of winning. Simple as that. I left all that, all my baggage at the door this summer. Once we changed coaches and new staff came in, I was committed to whatever it takes. So it's what y'all see now.
D'Angelo, you had a bunch of buckets in the paint tonight, and just wondered if you saw anything with the coverages, or if you were getting more screens. If it was just kind of a way to represent the aggression and what you saw for that tonight.
I don't know. I maybe see it when I watch it. I think just trying to play the right way and win, not try to force anything, and that's as simple as that.
The way you guys have started playing this season, there's a lot of intentionality. There's a system, things I know that you like and you want, but it's also kind of taking you out of some of the stuff that you've done in terms of like pick and roll and different things to be really successful to this point. Are there more of those opportunities for you? It seemed like, especially in the second half, you're able to get to that pick and roll with AD, stuff that you guys have had a lot of success with in the past. Was that something that kind of manifested itself with the flip?
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't. I think just trying to try to do me within what we're trying to do, and that's the adjustment, and that's what I've been trying to figure out. But as far as taking it all this personal and giving y'all something, I don't really have anything. My approach has been professional from day one, and I'm committed to it through not playing, through coming off the bench, through whatever it may be. Like, I'm egoless, so I just want to win.
D'Lo, Coach was able to stagger some minutes with you and AD, and you guys were very successful tonight. Just what do you think makes you guys so successful when you guys are on the court together?
I don't know. I think just being able to, be aggressive in the pick and roll makes, obviously, we get downhill and have an advantage. They got to respect both of us. I don't think there's a hole in that two-man game. He can shoot, I can shoot. He's picking and popping more. He's a force when he rolls. If I'm making shots, I'm a force in the pick and roll. But, people forget, and that's just all that is. I think, obviously y'all know our success rate. I am not going to force it, though. I think when it comes and it happens, that's when I can attack it.
D'Lo right here. Coach mentioned tonight that it was a group win. I know even the young guys got a couple of minutes in the game. As a teammate, as one of the leading voices on this team, what do you look for in those guys like Jalen or Maxwell to kind of get them going?
I try to tell them they're representation of, the whole league. The whole league's watching when you guys get in. It's not just garbage time or anything like that. I think when you're in that position, coaches and scouts, they're trying to find that sneaky guy that's not really getting any attention in those minutes. So for those guys, if the Lakers aren't, really paying attention to you, other teams are watching. So always remember that when you're out there.
One thing that I've noticed just over this year is just a lot of the sacrifices that you have made on this team, and then just hearing from the other teammates on this team, they always talk about you giving up the extra pass, being one of the leaders in hockey assists before this. Do you feel like a lot of people don't get a chance to see that aspect of it for you? Because I feel like I've noticed it, but I don't feel like a lot of others have. They just look at one little particular moment and it just goes to there.
I really do not look for validation from anybody. So for me, it's I don't know, because I'm not looking for it. And I know what I'm capable of. If I'm in a position to do it, I'm going to thrive. If not, I got to adjust my game and try to figure it out around what's working. So that's where we're at now. And like I said, I'm committed to it. I don't need validation. I don't need coddle. I don't need praise. I don't need anything. I swear it's all, I'm strong. So I want to showcase that. Being in the blender, keep me in the blender, talk about whatever you got to do. I don't want to be a distraction to my teammates, but I can handle it, and I'll find a way out. So, appreciate it.